don't find myself particularly interesting.
Welcome back to the Media Circus, the game show about the news game. And joining us tonight are the Chasers' Julian Morrow, Fairfax columnist and former ABC Brisbane radio host Madonna King, and from Triple J and author of true crime novel Murder in Mississippi, John Safran. And they're up against stand-up comedian Andy Matthews, The Guardian's political editor Lenore Taylor, and Hard Chat host Tom Gleeson. And this week we're following the most important media debate of our time. So, Julian, Madonna and John, you're Team Bacon. And Andy, Lenore and Tom, you are the very opposite of that, so you're Team Life, OK? And as always, the Media Circus is under the watchful eye of our fact-checker, Chaz Licciardello.
Thanks, Craig. And this week I've been fact-checking Alan Jones.
We don't want to be alarmists here, do we, Matt? We don't want to be alarmists, and yet we are sounding an alarm.
Thank you, Chaz. And now let's play the news game.
Stitch Up.
First up, of course, it's Stitch Up. We've stitched up 4 stories from the week's news. Teams, you have to guess 2 each. Here's your Stitch Up.
The Liberal Party is tonight
stockpiling weapons across the state.
But Scott Morrison
has again used social media to tell police to leave him alone.
Team Life, we'll start with you. What were the first 2 stories there?
Joe Hockey has decided to retire because he was a bit fed up. Is that right? Yeah, and so there's going to be a by-election.
Fed up?
No, fed up.
Fed up.
Oh, yeah. No, he's just fed up.
He just sort of, I'll do that speech where I'll say all of the things I would have done if I'd ever got to a position of power in Australia.
I'll say
It's
that.
a shame he didn't have the opportunity.
I know, exactly. All right, and what was the second story?
Stockpiling weapons.
Stockpiling weapons across the state.
The Sockos, the fugitives?
Yeah.
Fugitives?
That's why they call them the Stockos.
That's
They
right.
stockpile.
The first story was the Liberal Party was pre-selecting a new candidate for Joe Hockey's seat of North Sydney, and they chose this guy, Trent Zimmerman. I feel sorry for him, though, because Joe certainly left big shoes to fill, and a big shirt and big pants and mostly a big debt. It's right, though, that Labor have decided not to contest the seat by not running a candidate, in much the same way they're not contesting the Prime Ministership by running Bill Shorten. So... And the second story was, that's true, it was the father-son fugitives Mark and Gino Stocco who were finally caught yesterday after 8 years on the run.
This was Mark Stocco at a South Gundagai service station. The Stoccos took off without paying.
And look, I'm sure they were caught thanks to the great leads they got from the public.
Police have received dozens of possible sightings just today.
I actually overheard some ladies talking in Big W saying that they thought they might have seen them.
Thank you.
Is that a lady who thought she witnessed some witnesses?
Yes.
Wow, that's next level stuff.
The news has got straight to the source there, hasn't it?
That is amazing. I mean, 8 years they've been on the run, and then they just get caught now. 8 years ago, Kevin Rudd won. We had 6 years of Labor, 2 years of Abbott. Is there anything Malcolm Turnbull can't do? I mean, he's amazing. He is amazing.
Yes, Chaz.
I'm glad some people helped catch the Stockos, Craig, because Bill Shorten was useless.
Indigenous.
Look at the background here. Look at this. He dropped the ball completely.
All right, so Team Life, you got 2 from 2. Well done. Team Bacon, you need to choose the next 2 stories. Here's a recap.
But Scott Morrison
Has again used social media to tell police to leave him alone.
Scott Morrison...
Wasn't he? He was whining about the national anthem, that the Muslims weren't singing it.
Well, that sounds like Scott. It's probably that.
He was putting everything on the table?
Yes, he's been on Kitchen Cabinet. Is it something to do with Scott Morrison?
Yeah. You're remarkably close. What about? Let's go on to the other story then.
I think I do know this one because I love this story so much. It's the the Deputy Mayor of Auburn.
Salim Mahaja.
Yeah, Salim Mahaja, who will one day be Prime Minister. I think that's clear.
More likely than Bill Shorten at the moment.
Probably. The Deputy Mayor of Auburn.
He's sick of being harassed by police.
That is right. Let's see. Scott Morrison, firstly, was about this.
Mums returning to the workforce are set to benefit from new superannuation measures being considered by the Treasurer.
Finally, the government has a minister for considering women. Look, and in the final story, the person using social media to tell police to leave him alone was...
Auburn's Deputy Mayor Saleh Mahaj was pulled over twice in 25 minutes on Saturday night for allegedly driving an unregistered Ferrari.
Yeah, to be fair, though, he tried to register it, but they ran out of number plates with wanker on them. So it was his friend's car too. Yes, Jazz.
Craig, this is a big deal. Even Bob Catter yesterday stood in solidarity with Mahaja and he came in his own flashy car.
This petty, pedantic oppression of the people by the police.
What is going
has to stop.
on in that?
Get out there and do what you're supposed to do.
He's announced a policy where he's considering mowing all of North Queensland. He's just considering it.
Anyway, we're not Team Bacon. I think you got 1 out of 2 there. Congratulations, which means at the end of Stitch Up, the winning team is Team Life. Congratulations. Chaz, you got a reward for our winners.
Yep, Craig, it's a quick tour of lame celebrations of Back to the Future Day.
Action.
Okay.
Oh, he's good.
We can't go back.
Where?
Back to the future.
No, Doc. I just got here, okay?
With the date fast approaching, scientists have been working hard to produce a fully functional model of the famous hoverboard. Of course, they haven't yet been successful.
But Dr. Graham Walker from the Australian National University thinks his prototype hoverboard is getting close.
Because where we're going, we don't need roads.
The Encyclopedia of News. Field reporting.
Reporters love reporting from the field. Some even do it on their day off. The challenge of reporting from the field is that in an actual field, there are noisy cows.
So it's quite clear they intend or have the propensity to use violence to avoid apprehension.
And elsewhere, there are noisy dickheads.
Can reveal that the man, the conductor in question...
And noise can compromise your interviews. Sorry? I can't hear you. Can you please speak up? The intensity of a major event can only be captured by a reporter live on the scene, like when Harbour Town Mall on the Gold Coast was renovated.
Straight to Darren Curtis on the Gold Coast. Darren, the food court will be revamped as well.
Yes, Andrew. Hope it's got a muffin break. The field can also be unpredictable, so always be prepared. If you're covering a hearing, turn up 5 minutes early, or even earlier.
I've been here already for 6 hours today, and it's now only an hour before we hear the decision.
You want to be part of the action. Don't just report on the strike. You should lead the strike. If you're covering school exam stress...
But exam stress is taking a toll.
You should add to that stress by reporting from the middle of an exam. What's wrong with you? When covering fires, be sure to put on a massive fire jacket.
Their work cut out for them. Right now, this fire is...
In case a stray ember travels 30 kilometres.
By these erratic winds.
And when reporting from the street, remember...
Free cash, $5 for you. No catch?
No one likes reporters. But regardless, don't cower inside a safe studio. Step outside.
Yes, and who are the fabulous faces on our news board this week? We have ex-Abbott Government Minister Erica Betts, Steve Irwin's daughter, now from Dancing with the Stars, Bindi Irwin, the Australian schoolgirl who became an online sensation as Sexy Gandalf, the Labor, everyone knows her, the Labor Senator who hasn't become an online sensation, Penny Wong, Reverend Lovejoy from The Simpsons, and rock star politician Peter Garrett. Okay, teams take it in turn to pick a subject, but anyone can answer the question by buzzing in. All right, Team Bacon, what's your pick of the board first?
Penny Wong.
Let's get Penny
Wong, okay. Yes, this week Penny Wong grilled the Department of Foreign Affairs about a text message sent by Julie Bishop. It came about after the Foreign Minister did a whole interview with BuzzFeed using only emojis, you know, those cartoon pictures on your phone for the older people playing at home. So when BuzzFeed asked her about the then Prime Minister Tony Abbott, she answered with a picture of a man running away. Quite prescient, as it turned out. When they asked her what her guilty pleasure was, she seemed to say that it was stuffing her shoes with baked goods. But it was this text that had Labor's Penny Wong in stitches.
He was asked a question about Vladimir Putin, and he comes back as a red-faced man emoji. Are you aware of that?
Can't tell.
To be fair to Penny Wong, though, Craig, Penny is completely right. Putin doesn't look anything like that emoji. Putin looks like this dog. Ooh. It's simple.
All right, so just to annoy Penny Wong, we're going to bring back our old Julie Bishop emoji game. Teams, you'll take it in turns to guess the political story based on the emojis, OK? All right, Team Bacon, what is this political story conveyed by Bishop emoticons?
M&M.
M&M.
Rupert Murdoch is taking Jerry Hall on a date. And she's not after his money.
That would be the ABC way that we show Rupert Murdoch, wouldn't it?
No, it's a hockey mask, so it's Joe Hockey.
Could it be that hockey is double dipping?
Double dipping. Yes, that is a hockey mask representing Joe Hockey, followed by a double dipping of money as Joe goes to America. Despite railing against the age of entitlement, Joe Hockey could technically get both his ambassador pay and a parliamentary pension, totaling nearly $500,000 a year while he's in America. Now, Madonna, you wrote Joe's biography. Do you think he'll take the money?
I think politicians have always subscribed to the view that you should do what I say, not what I do. And so, yeah, he will take his entitlement.
Yeah, I mean, I double dip all the time. I mean, I got a train here, but I'm keeping my ABC cab charge, and I'm going to take it to Perth. I don't give a shit. I'm going to pay him out.
OK, now, can either team answer this story here? What's this next one? What have we got here?
It's a man who's angry that thumbs look too much like sausages. He keeps getting confused.
Yeah. I'll continue with them all.
Scientists don't like pigs. Or pork.
Continue.
Bacon.
Well...
Scientists say bacon gives you colorectal cancer.
Shit, is that the emoji for colorectal cancer? That is right. Barnaby Joyce likes sausages and came to their defence when the World Health Organisation said that processed meats like sausages and bacon are carcinogenic and can cause bowel cancer. Represented by the unhappy poo, of course. But we like
that's Barnaby Joyce.
Confusing. How much does Barnaby actually like sausages? Well, he often says he could murder a dog or two. Yes, Chad.
Barnaby does not eat dogs, Craig. He eats alpacas. There we go.
It looks like the guy behind him is seeing through the alpaca with his own eyeball.
How would that go?
He's using an alpaca as a telescope.
All right, Team Life, what is your pick of the board?
We've got to have Erica Betts because he's been doing some stunning work just lately.
All right, we've chosen Erica Betts. What do Erica Betts and Martin Luther King have in common? Yes?
Both of them haven't had any new ideas after 1968.
Yes, Madonna.
They both have German names, and I think they were born around the same year.
That is definitely not the case. Erica Betts is 57. My dad's friend taught him at school. He is practically my brother.
Hold on, I can see it.
He taught him geography, and apparently he wasn't very good.
Really? Did he say, see this part of the world, this is where all the Negroes live?
I think Tom was actually the closest there. It is that they've both used the word Negro. Martin Luther King in his 1963 I Have a Dream speech, and Erica Betts in an interview about gay marriage, referring to Conservative Judge Clarence Thomas as the Negro American on the Supreme Court only last week. Betts said it was okay for him to use the word because Martin Luther King had said it in the 1960s. An argument so convincing that even Jackie Lambie said Betts was becoming erratic. which I think is a case of the pot calling the kettle a Negro, or I'm not sure. But look, do we really know if this word is racist or not? Now, let's ask two old white men.
Was that a racial slur?
No, this was the very common term in the 1950s and 60s. It's less common now, but it's still used with reference to matters like Negro music.
I don't think it is,
I
Jared.
tuned into the Negro Music Hour on Triple J just the other day. And it was ghetto-tastic.
So he used the word in a radio interview, and then there was this big outcry. And then he put out a press release defending it with the Martin Luther King defence. Like, that was a considered after-the-fact
So
response.
he's being very clever because he's distracting people from his odious views on gay marriage by being racist.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Craig, I just realised, is Erica Betts sad again?
Oh, is this another opportunity? I know what
Can't
you're
play
going
my
to do now.
clip? Can't play my clip?
Yes, play it again.
Woo! Every single week.
Happier Betts is the best part of the show. All right, okay. Team Bacon, what's your pick of the board?
I reckon the attractive wizard.
All right, you've picked Sexy Gandalf, which was an article about the costume worn by one Australian muck-up day student, which was run in The Age, BuzzFeed, Daily Mail, HuffPost and even Latino's Post. This week, Crikey claimed that Fairfax journos have been trained to monitor all the online engagement with their articles, and that will lead to more stories like Sexy Gandalf. But how easy is it to tell what works as clickbait? Let's see if you'd make a good editor in the social media age, OK? See if you can guess which of these Age articles got more shares on social media, the aforementioned Sexy Gandalf article, or how to pay for your kids' education.
I'm going to protest the sexiness of the Gandalf, because as a nerd, there's one thing that nerds find sexy in a costume, and that is accuracy. And there is no way that Gandalf's thigh slit was that high. Like,
I would have thought an 18-year-old girl dressed up as Gandalf would have been a nerd's dream.
No.
No, just an 18-year-old girl. That would be...
Well, what do you think? What do you think got more clicks here?
The Sexy Gandalf.
I reckon education.
You reckon education? Madonna is actually right. What a girl wore to her muck-up day got more than the article about how to send your kids to school, which is a shame because in the world of Sexy Gandalf, if you don't go to school, you shall not pass.
But, you know, Craig, it's not just Fairfax that do that. I came from News Limited and they started doing that years ago, and I think NPR in America has started it too, where they give their reporters feedback on when someone turns up the volume on one of their stories, how long it should run
Really?
for. And
So they know if old people are listening.
And if you ask people who do this, the 4 categories that really rate highly, the first one is a big breaking news story, second is weather, third is celebrities, and fourth is crime. So you take the Stocko case, that was such a great story because it was a big breaking news story. They were pseudo-celebrities, outlaws, Ned Kellys. It involved crime. If they could have just been caught in a hurricane, it would have just been
Or sexily dressed up as Gandalf.
Yeah, exactly. OK, how about these two news.com.au stories? Which was more shareable? The story about Celebrity Apprentice star Roxy Jasenko splits pants in unfortunate wardrobe malfunction, or Malcolm Farr's inner and middle areas suffer as a transport and service go to CBD and fringes.
did you just say Malcolm Farr's inner and middle areas?
Now I'm clicking on it.
I'll go with that one.
Oh, I'm setting the alarm clock for insiders now. You little ripper.
What do you think got more shares? What got more traction in the social needs?
I'm just going to go counterintuitive. It's going to be the inner and middle areas. I still got that mental image. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah. Jules is actually right. It was actually Malcolm Farr's services story had rocketed to 217 shares over the same time that Jasenko's story got only 14 shares.
Oh.
Weirdly, the story about Malcolm Farr splitting his pants had minus 9,000 shares. But this generally surprised me. Like, I didn't expect this to be the actual case. I mean, is it the case that politics is actually clickbait?
Sometimes. It depends how you do it. So we get the figures every day, and some days you can put all this effort into a story, and there's a story about, you know, a lady who made a canoe that looked like a vagina, and that's, you know, that gets 6 gazillion times more clicks than anything we
I
write.
see that on The Guardian every day. It's just shameless.
But sometimes, often, politics rates really highly. On Guardian Australia, politics rates really highly all the
one
time.
of your stories had like 1,300 shares. It was one of the biggest ones we actually looked at. We just didn't want to flatter you at any time.
But also, I guess it's why people share. If people agree with something, they want to say something about themselves.
Yeah.
I think this as well, so they share it.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Absolutely. And if there's something, like, if it's ambiguous, if it's an on the one hand, on the other hand story, nothing.
Okay, so you've got to just commit.
Strong opinion story,
They share.
Right.
All right, well done. Well, that is the end of the Board of the News, and I think the winning team is it's Team Life, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Tassie, what's their award?
It's a lesson in how to really stuff around a breakfast show.
Hello, Henry. Hello, Henry. It's the Sunrise team here. Good morning.
Hi.
It's the Sunrise team from Channel 7. How you going?
Not too bad for an old man.
Well, you're going very well by the sound of you. Henry, you've just won $10,000.
Hi.
You've won $10,000.
Oh, yes.
$10,000, Henry! How exciting!
He's got it. He's got it.
I think he's understanding. Do you want to put your wife back on? Oh, is it your wife? I think it might be his daughter.
Alan Jones makes no sense.
If you said to me, you know, tomorrow, I need the fence painted, and I'd say, well, get X, and you could come along and watch X paint the fence. Or if you want to say, is Djokovic a good tennis player, you could see Djokovic play and you make your own judgment. You tell me that you are absolutely convinced that you know, as a former Premier of many years, what is happening in the classroom. You've got no idea. No, wait a minute.
Alan Jones makes no sense.
Stats incredible.
Statistically speaking, 4 in every 4 news bulletins use stories about stats and surveys to fill out their bulletins. But studies show we don't always remember the stats we hear. Team, see if you can complete these stats from the week's news. First up, finish this statistic. 1 out of 4 Australian students...
can't count, and the other 6 are really sick of it.
Could lead the Labor Party better than Bill Shorten. Seems a bit low, actually.
Yeah. Will finish in the bottom 25%. Will finish in the top 25%. Will finish in the second highest quartile.
Second quartile, yes.
Second lowest quartile. I'm finished.
Will drop out of school before year 12, finishing
That
year
is
12.
right. Well done. The correct answer is a study has found 1 in 4 Australian students don't finish high school, which is a rather negative way of looking at it. I mean, why not focus on the positives, like 1 in 4 Australian students do finish Grand Theft Auto 5. All right, next up, finish this stat. 1 in 3 gym users
are the size of the other 2 gym users combined.
Could lead the Labor Party better than Bill Shorten.
That's too low too. Have exercised with Tony Abbott. Everywhere. He always ran down to the gym after question time in the little shorts.
Did he?
Yeah.
What, did he like walk out of Parliament and whip off his pants like a stripper?
You know, at my gym, there's this trainer, this woman, and she just wears civilian clothes, like an ordinary dress. That's not fair, is it?
hang on. I'm just trying to get past that. Your gym?
You would use drugs or supplements or bacon, and researchers don't know which is worse.
Yeah, that's right. According to a study conducted in the UK, 1 in 3 gym goers use some form of drug or dietary supplements to lose weight. Maybe they should start using the equipment of the gym instead. But anyway. Okay, next up, finish this study. 1 in 7 Brits have participated in...
Showering.
No, look, a British survey has revealed that 1 in 7 drivers have admitted to taking part in sexual activity when they're behind the wheel of their car.
Does it count as a sex act if you just get a little bit of a thrill when you pick the right lane? I mean, you know, sometimes you get the one that's just going fast and, like, you can be forgiven for getting a little bit of a commuting chubby.
Yeah. There's a new term for the Oxford this year.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, according to a study, 1 in 10 vegetarian sausages...
Get eaten.
Yes.
Could lead the Labor Party better than Bill Shorten.
I know this one. I read this one.
Yes.
And it's 1 in 10 vegetarian sausages have bacon or carry human DNA. Have
Yes,
human
that is
DNA
right.
in it.
Oh, you got your own DNA in you anyway, so...
I'd
It's all
rather-
in there already. Just get other people's in there. Who cares? I mean...
Yes, according to a study published in the Sun newspaper, 1 in 10 vegetarian hot dogs contain meat, which ironically is a lot more meat than in ordinary sausages. But look, here's a stat for you. We've played now 100% of this game, and the winner is Team Bacon. Oh,
Yesterday's news.
It's yesterday's news time once again, so let's dip into the archives of the news reports on this day in history, the 29th of October. And it's amazing we're even here tonight, given the shocking news on this day in 2014.
Let's find out why drinking milk could actually be killing you.
Which is why I switched from dairy to processed meats 12 months ago. Thanks, Channel 9.
You've been drinking processed meats?
Yeah. It is a bad cereal I have every morning. All right, here's some footage from October 2002. What's going on here?
I don't know what it is, but it looks like it survives on funding. Doesn't look like a commercially viable thing. No.
Hey, careful in the glass house here. Just be careful.
Yeah. I do well in the private sector. I just moonlight on this shit heap.
It looks like something to do with Lindy Chamberlain, and I fear it may be an opera.
Yes, it was about an opera based on the story of Lindy Chamberlain, who was convicted over the death of Azaria Chamberlain on this day in 1982, although she was later cleared, of course. This was a great tragedy, and 20 years later, so was this. It's easy to mock that opera now, but it was a really sensitive treatment of that tragic story. Look, well done. At the end of that round, the winner is Team Bacon. Well done. Shazzy, what's their reward?
Yeah, Craig, some breaking news, actually. Alan Jones was so annoyed at us making fun of him before. He's actually quit to become a bingo caller, but I think he needs some work.
55, 59, 58, 58, 58, 56, 58, 58, 56, 56, 55, 57, 57, 55, 58, 59, 56. Come on.
I'm glad I asked you on the show.
Hello, Ted. Oh, thank God. Look, we're talking about the big issues that the political class needs to muscle up on, and we'd really love you to come on the show. Great!
Ted, what do you think is the biggest issue that the political class need to muscle up on that they're perhaps not at the moment, or if you think one side of politics is failing us more than the other, in what area?
I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know.
All right, let me bring in Matt Burney.
Rita, hi. Look, we've had some dud guests on the show lately, so I wanted to book you personally. We're now talking about the Adam Goodes, David Jones controversy. Could you please come on the show? Great!
To call the negative response purely racism. Obviously, if there was racist
Did you read
comments,
some
that's
of the
disgusting.
comments?
Oh, no, but what? Am I going to go on the David Jones Facebook page and read comments?
Well,
Come
we've
on.
asked you to come on and talk about it, so we assumed you would.
I need someone with credibility who's not going to make this show look stupid. Get me Guy McKenna.
Guy McKenna.
Oh. I'm glad I asked you on the show.
On the outside.
Let's cheer ourselves up with our final game, On the Upside. I'll read you out some bad news from the week, and you have to come up with a positive spin on the story. Let's start with health. Bacon, sausages and ham are as bad for you as smoking.
But on the upside, they don't put the picture of the cancer that you're going to get on the outside of the bacon.
On the upside, smoking is as good for you as breakfast.
On the upside, the science is not yet in on passive bacon.
On the upside, I am soon releasing a new menthol sausage, which I think is going to do really well.
All right, a vodka truck has crashed in Russia. It's a bad news story, okay?
It crashed into a truck full of lime and soda, and everyone had a great time.
On the upside, it crashed into my mouth.
On the upside, the police who went to the crash site are all in very good spirits.
Yes! Snuck a pun in there too, yeah. All right, next negative story. Women only end up with around half as much superannuation as men.
On the upside, I'm a man.
On the upside, men die sooner.
On the upside, there aren't any other areas in which women suffer discrimination, so it's fine.
All right, a giant asteroid will be heading towards the Earth on Halloween.
On the upside, a giant flaming ball kind of looks like a pumpkin.
On the upside, all of Earth can turn off our lights and pretend we're not home.
On the upside, if we're all dressed as ghosts when we all die, it'll be less of a shock.
All right, and finally, Santa Claus and Spider-Man have robbed a servo in Queensland.
On the upside, it's got just much easier to get onto the nice list this year. So much.
On the upside, Santa Claus now knows with great power comes great responsibility.
On the upside, Santa obviously got my letter asking for crappy sunglasses and 2-for-1 Snickers this year.
Well, everyone, that's the end of On the Upside, and that's the end of the show. So our winner tonight is Team Life. Choose Life. Thanks for watching. Join us next week on The Media Circus.